We are committed to making sure that a disaster like Katrina does not happen again. And that means, in Washington, a focus on competence and accountability. And I'm proud that my FEMA director, Craig Fugate, has 25 years of experience in disaster management in Florida, a state that's known its share of hurricanes. And I think Republicans and Democrats will testify to his skill and experience. We have put together a group led by Sean Donovan and Janet Napolitano to study disaster recovery across the country to figure out how to do it better. Across the country, we're improving coordination among different agencies. We're modernizing our emergency communications. We're helping families plan for crisis. And here on the Gulf Coast, we're working to make sure this region is protected in the event of a 100-year storm. We've already seen 220 miles worth of levees and flood walls repaired, and we are working to strengthen the wetlands and barrier islands that are the first line of defense for the Gulf Coast. This isn't just critical to this region's physical protection, it's critical to our environment, it's critical to our economy. That's why we're establishing an interagency working group that will be responsible for coordinating our restoration efforts across the Gulf at all levels of government. Now, even with all the action we've taken, all the progress we've made, we know how much work is left to be done. Whether you're driving through New Orleans, Biloxi, or the southern part of Louisiana, it's clear how far we have to go before we can call this recovery a real success. There are sewers and roads still to repair. There are houses and hospitals still vacant. There are schools and neighborhoods still waiting to thrive once more. So I promise you this, whether it's me coming down here or my cabinet or other members of my administration, we will not forget about New Orleans. We are going to keep on working. We are not going to forget about the Gulf Coast. Together, we will rebuild this region, and we will rebuild it stronger than before. It is going to be stronger than before. I know that for a lot of you, the questions and concerns you have aren't limited to the Recovery Act and the efforts that are taking place here on the Gulf. You're also wondering about the recovery effort that's taking place throughout America, because an economic storm hit about 10 months ago, caused this recession that is as bad as anything we've seen since the Great Depression. And obviously it hasn't left behind the death and destruction that Katrina and Rita left behind, but it's caused incredible pain and hardship for communities all across this country. Communities that have seen too many jobs disappear, too many businesses close, too many middle-class families who are just barely making it. And these families are the backbone of America. They're the ones who built this country and made it great. You. And keep this country going each and every day. And so you deserve leaders in Washington who are willing to work as hard as you work, who are willing to fight for your futures. That's why our goal is not just to rebound from this recession, it's to build an America that works for everybody, where everyone who's looking for work can find a job, not just a temporary job, but a permanent job that lasts from year to year, season to season. We want an economy where our stock market's not only rising again, but our businesses are hiring again, and people's incomes are going up again. We're not going to rest till we get there. Now, the Recovery Act we passed earlier this year has helped stop the bleeding. Everybody agrees on that. It's put tax cuts in the pockets of working families and small businesses. It extended unemployment insurance and health insurance to people who'd been laid off. It saved or created hundreds of thousands of jobs in the private sector, and have made sure that teachers weren't being laid off and police officers weren't being laid off in states that were hemorrhaging because of lost tax revenue. But the Recovery Act's just the start. If we want a recovery that lasts, if we want an economy that really grows again, we've got to rebuild stronger than before, just like you're doing here in New Orleans. We need to come together and meet the challenges that were with us before this recession hit. Schools that weren't closing before the recession. That means building a clean energy economy that can lead to millions of new jobs and new industries. That means building an education system that equips every citizen with the skills and training they need to compete with any worker in the world. That means building a health care system that finally offers security to those who have insurance and affordable options to those who don't.